would have said 2 years ago, it was 3 years ago, January 2025. And it had to just examine the potential within this story with Derek as the writer, and with John as the animator, and myself and creators and co-producers initially. I had no experience doing animation production and documentary production. So we did a development process, you can familiar with. So we drafted up, we were able to get a bit of money with the support of CeltixBrother and the IRBF, very importantly. Derek developed the script, John developed visual ideas, and we were successful in using that as an application process to the IRBF with CeltixBrother on board, and BBC and I also came on the strength of development process. After we've got that, the next big chunk to come in will be commissioning on corresponding this event. That's quite an onerous process, there's no messing about it with the commissioning applications. We work very hard on our production Bible and making sure that we get the right budget in place. Animation is quite an expensive process. There's so many people involved in it. So then the team, when we got that was a successful application, and then we're ready for introduction, contracting, and all of that. So when that happened, we expanded the team to include Derek brought in the script supervisor, Orlan's brought in a really important role to be directing writer, and John included the animator. So that's sort of the third thinking. So Derek is an exceptional award-winning writer. John is an exceptional award-winning animator. So it's just really having a few strings. The producer produced this other balloons in the background.
Oh yeah, they don't do that.
The talent is facilitated to express itself.
That's a whole other session we can have to talk about that. I think you've got a few slides that you put together to show some of that development process. It would be lovely if you could. Do you want to split through that first, or do you want to show?
These would have been early on in the production. This is part of the development process, and then there'll be a clip later on showing us some of the characters that remain very consistent, and some of them have developed.
Yeah, some of the characters, other animators and ways, I'm sure if you know press Bible, so we created a press Bible. But it has since kind of developed, because then I started working with characters, so there are changes from some kind of drawings, but the mood and the atmosphere we put in the narrative feel is still there. That was the whole kind of point of creating the press Bible, was to kind of just visualize for a lot of people what you're kind of writing for the project. So that's still there, even though it's some changes. A guy's stress, we're in a lot of production, so we're not there yet.
And it's a precious thing for us to have the opportunity to talk to you, I think, while you are still in the middle of production. It's very easy when something's done to look back and go, oh yeah, we did this and this, but we were actually in the thick of it. It's a really amazing time for us to be. Okay, should we have a look? To talk in a bit more detail about that side of things. But my last question to you, Jenny, for the moment is, why was it important that this would be in Irish?
Well, everything we do, some of us, everything we do is in Irish, and that means everything to us, that's our world. So it's partly our personal motivation, but the original material is in Irish, and the older form is Irish, and that's important that we reflect that. There's an authenticity to that, I think, that we were certainly Darren's very keen, so are we in turn. That would be one part of it. We're also part of, we're part of, you're part of it, growing Irish language production sector. We feel, I think, a very personal responsibility. It's a joy to be part of that, to be able to live your life through Irish. And it's a joy to be able to sort of develop projects that you know will have a longer term impact. We maybe draw people into that world. You would hope. We've been involved in this. Today is today is the inauguration for the previous president. He's the one who set up TGCAR 29 years ago, just a minute ago. And if you had a thought back then that the type of projects that you're involved in, that Orla's doing, that North School Drama,
Ambitious.
it's ambitious and it reflects, it reflects our own ambition, it reflects a wider ambition. And I think the Irish language world is very good at encouraging people to come on board. It's generous and tries to make room for that. So we want, I suppose, through this project, we want to see trainees and others. And that's part of it as well, as paying homage to the integrity of the script.
And Orla, over to you then, because this is like such an important part of your role, wasn't it really, that making sure that the language act is going to be high quality and be authentic, or not? No,
well, if anybody's not any mistakes, I'd say that day. Well, that's the kind of role that I absorb within other roles a lot of times on a lot of my productions. I don't know why. I kind of got christened Orla.ie instead of folklore.ie very early in my career. And people will be asking me what the genitive for things are, and just ask Orla.ie, so I'm not really quite sure why I got that reputation, but it is something, because we're always striving for authenticity. This is very much an Irish story, a national story, but it's a province story. It's two provinces warring, so therefore the Connacht and the Ulster dialects, we really wanted to make sure they are coming through in the script. They feel natural, and obviously for anyone who's not an Irish language speaker in the room, it's not that they're two different languages. It's dialects. It's just small, subtle differences, but it really sells the authenticity and kind of make sure you don't kind of break that suspension of disbelief, when you're watching the thing. So between the script and editing the script, and then casting the actors and recording the voices, that was something that we were all very aware of, and to make sure that if there was something that didn't quite sound right, and a few times when we were in the booth, there would have been maybe Rach Ian who voices Maeve, maybe says, I would actually maybe say it more, this would be more natural for me. So that came up a couple of times when we were maybe even tweaking things in the recording booth, again, just to kind of feel, as well as the dialects, having it maybe not too modern, not wanting slang, because it is an ancient story. So all of those things were very interesting, and an interesting challenge.
So I have to think about it in that sense that you're not necessarily wanting the language to be some sort of vanilla in the middle that everybody understands, but it's a story that lends itself to the comic and music. And so tell me a bit more about the casting, because obviously when we have those beautiful images and we have all and Zara's words, but the actors bring so much to it, don't they?
They definitely do, and it's funny because that was the first thing we did, but in terms of before there was animation, there was the Bible, and kind of rough animatic early on, but there was there's nothing to go with it. Storyboards, yeah. So and then we had John in directing the voice acting, and Gail actually. That was just a point. It's lovely to be able to do the animation and record the voices and all these elements of this animation production in Derry, outside Belfast. I think that's something that I think is interesting and kind of positive, that everything's not over here in Belfast today. But again, it's just nice to know that we can do productions and productions like these on the scale, outside Belfast. So we were recording in Derry, and we had other actors up with us for a couple of days, and it's kind of.
There's no worries about the can't ones coming up to Ulster.
Well, we got them a passport and a visa.
Did you knock up all your bills?
Now, to be fair, I don't think we were able to take them back down on the bus, but
Dara had a big stake.
he did.
Dara Farda is
So we had a great time, kind of, because we were able to record the actors in the booth on their own, and then kind of keep them for a few of them kind of overlapping, where we could have everything really clean, recorded clean and solo, and then we had them acting together, really in the booth together. Just give us options which they enjoyed, and was brought something else to it, for certain scenes. So there was a sense maybe of cohesion, because I think a lot of the times when you're just voice recording, a lot of it is very segregated. So no, good back.
I would like to ask you as well about the sort of the gender side of things, the women's side. I mean, in the story, like so many people think of this as King Owen's story, and you've already touched on this, so this is kind of central to it. But this was a reframing where it's definitely about Maeve, isn't it? Tell me about that, just her as a character and what she might look like.
Well, again, this is something we spoke about. Obviously, Darach Scully is the writer, but this is something that was important to Jayden, and why he asked me to come on board. And there were a lot of conversations between Jayden, Darach, Pierce, Cullen, the other producer, and myself about that very fact, because it is, you think of a battle story as being very, very masculine and very male-driven, and of course there really are two key women in this story and in our animation, two key women, but they are pivotal. They drive the story, they engineer, or they are the catalyst. And that's Maha at the very beginning, so 9 generations before our story really begins, who places the curse, and it is as a reaction to being pushed and being kind of forced against her will by men, her husband and the Shamroon, the old King of Ulster. So she doesn't want to do what she does, but it is a reaction to men pushing her beyond breaking point, and then we see obviously the implications of that when we rejoin our story, and Maeve again is engineering and driving this. It would not have happened but for Maeve, and even on the battlefield she's kind of puppeteering a bit. So we see two very strong, powerful women, and flawed as well, which is also interesting because that's more interesting as a character. Maeve is jealous, and she's greedy, and she's maybe merciless, and that's quite interesting. She's not just some pretty queen waiting for the riches to be brought to her. She's out there.
And I think anyone who has known this story in the past knows that Maeve gets such a bad, she's always been nasty villain. How dare this powerful, ambitious woman, have this role maybe in the society. But I mean, a lot of it's to do with it having been written down by monks and all of that kind of thing. But it's interesting then that there's still a lot to lean into there, as you say.
I think you go from Maeve, like you do. She's not a villain, but she's not perfect,
No,
and
very
I can
good.
see her point, and her husband needs to pull his wings and
Watch over to it. Okay. So John, we'll come to you now, back to you. I know you've been working with some of these characters visually for a very long time, and obviously you've been working on animation for a really long time. I'd love to hear from you about the start of the process of this film for you, like when you try and make these things that are going to be massive decisions for a project about style and play and visual. How does that start?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've worked with some of the before on different animations. I've got to start with a blank slate, so it goes back to the writer, basically, some conversations with Dara originally. First we had the script, which is great, so I just took that off and went off and did completely the wrong thing. So,
It's very important part of the process.
I originally, the reason why I done the animation is all about the music and stuff, so I done a really kind of off the wall kind of version first, which wasn't brilliant enough. It was quite abstract and quite flowy. But then the conversations with Derek, he just kind of narrowed down on it, really grounded and really kind of the artist would be. He mentioned chain mail, I got rid of the chain mail. That's a different story. But it had to be really grounded. So we kind of just boiled it down to the style. So it's a back and forth between Derek and myself. Because at the start story again, I guess the rest will serve the story with the characters.
Sometimes us authors have no idea about animation. Just not mentioning anyone, but sometimes, you know, people will go, can I have 1,000 people charging and doing, you know, things like that. Was there a lot of back and forth to work out what was practical as
Yeah,
well?
well, I want to say this much. I don't know if I was silently screaming when the mixing of lots of armies clashing and huge landscapes as well. We were still trying to get that in, but you know, we got it realistic as well.
I wonder before we talk any more about the style, if we could show the poem. And before we see it, maybe just tell us what it is that we're looking at. This is kind of work in progress.
It's very much work in process. I didn't see this. Jack and I put this together, so I'm kind of hesitant at the moment, like throwing away, oblivious of everything else. So Jack and I quickly looked at the animatic. It's just, at the moment some of you are in the animation process, I'm not sure. You start off with a storyboard, and then an animatic is the storyboard over time. So I think there's sections of still an animatic in this. Where the animatic is the storyboard, and then when sections of animation are done, you replace those in the animatic, so it gradually kind of forms into the animation.
And it'll give us a beautiful feel.
It'll give it a feel, let's say.
Náradúros, Bawá Misharot.
John, that is your process is to draw everything painstakingly by hand, which in this day and age is a statement in itself. Tell us about that decision.
Yeah, there was lots of kind of decisions to make at the start. One was the painful decision to keep doing hand drawn. But I think, again, go back and increase the AI and all the rest of stuff that's coming down the line. I just thought it was really important just to go back and keep that real hand drawn kind of thing going, because it's a really personal thing. It's just unique. Everybody's got their own drawing style, so I just thought it was super important just to keep the goal of that.
Beautiful. Mythology is obviously fictional, made up stories. But did you have to work out how to ground it in a historical time and place, or not? Or how much of it's fantasy and how much of it is real history?
It's kind of same. I mean, it's again, go back to the conversation with Dark. as you said, it was originally written down by monks in the 12th century, you say. It's back to the conversation about chainmail, because I went off in one direction, and then chainmail, like that, we're talking Romans 6:10, and whatever, so I thought, not to be too specific, but anything back from the 11th century, somewhere around there, to generally in that kind of area. But there's bits of fantasy in it, but I don't want to push that too much, so that some of the causes are slightly with that, but they're not going off in the fantasy things either, so it's very good. So that's essentially what I was aiming for.
And the other thing that strikes me when we're dealing with this story and the warrior culture and everything else is there's loads. Maybe this is the children's writer in me, but there's loads of like blood and guts and gore and violence and severed heads. And, like, was that a difficult thing to like? You don't have to hold back when you're in a graph.
Far from the course for my animations, as you can see from the first one.
John's like, more heads.
Actually, I'm throwing quite a few characters over the years. It's just by coincidence. But no, you don't have to do it. That is right from the start. There was restrictions. It was like, it was in the story. Just go for it. You couldn't, obviously, you're not doing it for you. It's whatever it works for the scene. It needs it's on there. That's it.
And I think we got a sense from that clip as well that there is the blood and guts and gore and violence and action, but there's also very intensely intimate, emotional moments. Was it hard to find the balance, or does that just come
I think it naturally comes from the writing, naturally from the script. There are moments where, obviously, there's set battle scenes that's occurring in the story, and it obviously be there. But then, other parts are written more domestic, for a better word, so there are more intimate moments. So that one really comes from the script. You're into the script and just kind of judging as you go through. So the balance doesn't come from you, it's come from the writing in the first place. So you know where you plan the action and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we sort of touched on this already, that the voices were recorded first, which is a really interesting part of the process. Then when you heard those actors in the booth and how they delivered those lines, were there times then when that informed the characters, where it wasn't what you thought it was going to be? Sometimes it's a surprise.
Oh, very definitely, yeah. I mean, again, I don't know if you want to animate it here, but do your storyboard and you have it kind of in your head only. And the actors know that originally as well, but they do something in the performance that kind of changes something. It's always for the better because stuff you haven't. Also, from my point of view, things for the better. You can change kind of scenes with the acting performance. There's a couple of scenes I just had to redo the storyboard because the voices were completely different to what I imagined them to be. But it was all up to because it's more natural to performance there. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it brings down their artistry. It's such a beautiful collaboration in that way. Jed, I'm going to come back to you. We've kind of touched on some of this already, but just I was thinking of it when we think of the artistic side and the production side of it. But there's a real business piece of work always to be done to bring all the money together and the partners and the funders. Would you give us just a wee run through them, who all was involved? Sort of in the bigger picture.
And this is the first time I've done an animation. It's interesting that a lot of the work is at the top end. From my point of view, a lot of the, particularly the commission demand application, that's always 110 pages or something like that. It just has to be spot on. None of the stuff I'm saying, no, it's not good enough. And
it's hard when you haven't actually made the thing yet to talk about what you're going to. Sometimes you don't know yet until you've made
the Bible was exceptional, I have to say. And the comments I come back, feedback night, so the artistic input that we had is it would have made our job a lot easier. So this is a feature length one, this is 26 minutes, maybe but even so, I was drawn a lot of the experience of Pierce because I'm an Irish language producer. I was doing the applications CeltixBrother and the so I suppose the process is The IRBF is crucial to us in the north. They are some of the broadcasting. We really rely on them for support and financial support and backing. And that frees up broadcasters like TG Tower and BBC NI. It frees them up to put in lesser resources than they would normally have to. They put in typically 15%, say. So the IRBF will carry the bulk of that initial financial ask, and then that frees you up in turn to go to commission demand or other funders. There's a tax credit here as well, which is important.
And you've mentioned the development money as well, that's an IRBF project, but I think
Yeah, for
for a lot of people is the difference between something being able to be made and not, just that space to figure it out.
I mean, as a producer, your job is, you don't want people working for free, and that's what there's an expectation with business and other areas that people will be taken advantage of. Freelancer, people coming to do working to into it. I think it's really important that people do it properly. When you get the outcome, you really get it. Derek's very busy, John's very busy. You get to be able to something you to be able to say, if you work on this for a month or two, you don't have to be too worried about other jobs that whatever other projects you're working on, you put them to the side, really focus on this. And we really got the benefit of that when we saw which really hasn't shifted too much from the prior years. Derek's straight with the macro. We did a second draft and stuff. And it was really that matter of
If there's any writers in the room.
and then John had to shorten it with Gareth, it was too long and they were extremely scenes. I think you were saying about getting into the nitty-gritty of what is key. We had to drop it on material. What are the key aspects of the scene? And then the actors have to bring their sort of skill set to it. Yeah, it's a typical production process in a way. It's going to last for 2 years, 2.5 years. And then when I come back in again, at the minute we're sort of snapping our fingers. John puts up an animatic every month, so there's 4 animators working on this. John's the senior animator, there's another senior animator, and two additional animators. And every month a new animatic, the same animatic comes up, developed, so 10%, 20%, 30% every month. It's about 80% now of my untrained eye. So all the squiggles and arrows, and you can see that we've got some of the scene numbers still up there in the program. So they're all going to disappear, and then we're going to have a longer process or post-production process with different animators with different skill set and really record them. John,
There's colour background still, so that's very much just the so target animation.
then we've more or less got the sound tuned up already. So
Can I
then,
just ask you actually about the music?
yes,
Sorry, I don't know, just about who the music is.
that's Lalu.
That's not going to be,
No.
no. Who's going to do the music?
So that's music from Oriel. That's why we chose that, just for that. The music will be written by Paul Brown, Paul did play that? Yeah. So Paul's a very accomplished composer. He is also saying, where's my son?
You're all feeding them buns and coffee and just
Yeah.
keep going, John.
It's true. I mean, it's fascinating from my point of view because the film and the documentary was 10 to 12 years. And we were filming and we edited and this is interesting. A lot of the work's done, and then a lot of the work will happen again when we get into PR and marketing and going down to the festival.
And maybe that's a good point when we back in. Where will we be able to see this and when? Like, what is the end game?
Well, the goal is firstly when it's done next year, by maybe summer next year. Don't want to panic, John. But the aim is festivals first, so film festivals and animation festivals, domestically and internationally, because we've seen that Irish language, be it animation or film or short film, they've done very well abroad at the various film festivals. You know that yourself. And the
Just recently.
So we certainly are going to be ambitious with the film festivals, with the festival strategy, and then when that expires, strategically I will be broadcasting yet, but it'll be maybe late next year, early 2027. But the festival part is important, both I suppose financially in terms of our funding. Jenna mentioned the tax credit, and this is high-end animation. It has an intention to be shown theatrically or at festivals, so that fulfills that part of our remit and allows us to access the tax credit, which is imperative to actually fund the thing and get it done. But also it's just about getting Joanne's amazing work and our other animators' amazing work out there and in front of more eyes, because that's ultimately the goal.
And it feels like, from what we can see, it feels like it's going to be an absolute classic that will, you know, go on and on and on for many years to come. My last question before we open up to some questions from the floor, if anyone wants to be thinking of a really hard one, because I've been way too nice. But my last question then is just what's next for the team? Is there a plan to do Time Broken 2, or is something else?
Tokyo Drift.
Yes, we just got support for another process. We're under another 3-year cycle.
Nothing's for punishment.
Keep John fit and healthy.
Just do jobs and everything, make sure it's
Go back to the key.
For Deirdre and his clan personally, so another one of the fabled environment, one of the important stories about sort of modern resonance as well, another tragic story of women's position in life being thwarted by men. I suppose it's the Helen of trial. That's the short way of describing it. As it happens, Dark is a very young Deirdre of this clan issue. So we're going to go through the same process. Dark is going to be get development support to develop a script. And we really like to drive through this time here, these getting it. And then at some stage we have to interrupt John's busy schedule to get him to do a few more visual ideas, so we start that process again. It's likely to be similar. It'll be IDF, CeltixBrother, BBC. You're all on board with the development side of things, which is a good sign. And then we take that to commission and we're just in funders this time around because we have, I suppose, proof of concept. And then maybe a third one.
fantastic. We'll watch this space, and I hope John will there's a holiday in between. I'm hoping, yeah. Is there any questions from the floor?
Is there any particular stories that you want to interpret in the animation that off you during the for example?
Absolutely, there's so many things. When I was a kid, and it was touched on earlier on, animation was something that happened elsewhere. I used to like watching East European animations, because that's all over the world. And I would have read these stories and maybe children's versions of them. And it's been talked about for years. In our world, people have been trying to do live action versions of people, quite big names, Brian Wilson, maybe in the area, perhaps. That's how long people have been talking about. The Oisin, that cycle of stories is incredible. Children of Lear was an incredible story, which we had sort of talked about a few years back when Ira got coached and coached from under.
Just to set the records.
Well, I do remember those conversations about the children of Lear and the potential within that. There's so much richness in that story and others. Is that something that you're interested in as well? You're an animator? Which one are you? It's amazing how it's written down so long ago and there's still a modern sort of way of approaching stories without. We're not been typecast at all, right?
And those things stay with you. I think there's the things that you have in your childhood, so you spend the rest of your life with them. Any other questions?
Do you have any advice for someone writing human code script mixing English and Irish phrases, and particularly when it doesn't speak Irish?
I would say do not use Google Translate or AI. Do not.
Yeah.
Try and befriend your local Gaelegor. There are a few in this room. But just if you don't speak the language, it's just important. It's great. I love to see bilingual projects coming through, but authenticity and it coming kind of from a genuine place is what we're striving for, because, well, we want AI to put us all out of business, but it is, it's just, it really lacks anything I've ever seen Google translated or AI in Irish. You can spot it a mile off. But collaboration as well is part of the joy of this whole industry in general, so if you can find someone that you can collaborate with. But something, I'm actually working on a bilingual script at the minute that I'm co-writing, and my co-writer does not have Irish, so he's found it very interesting the way that I'm kind of saying, well, this, in this moment, this person would be talking to himself, and I think they would talk to himself in Irish, or, so there's really lovely natural things that you can do, or there's a moment of panic and someone's kind of having, say, the other character can't get through to them and kind of switches to Irish to sort of break through that moment of panic. There's lovely wee things that you can actually play with the language and really use bilingualism as a storytelling device. So kind of be as open as you can, but definitely do befriend someone that will either be a co-writer or a consultant or something like that, so that you can really, it will feel like it's coming from, an authentic place. And yeah, I don't know if there's a part to that question.
No, I think if you're a talented writer in any language, that will carry through if the translation is faithful and done skillfully, as skillfully as you were writing. I'm an English speaker, native English speaker, not a native Irish speaker. So I don't trust my Irish enough in the little Oral is the immaculate Irish compared to me. So I struggle with that as well. I have to write in English because I don't have the wherewithal yet anyway. So I will have to bring in somebody who's a good Irish language scriptwriter, or somebody who knows Irish and makes it authentic. Because there's nothing worse than a direct, dry translation of Asian Irish or Irish or English. It doesn't work. You can spot it in a way.
Jeremy Sean made everything there, so I said in Irish and English. Because the commissionary is minhori with the scale of the Irish scale, then it is which needs facile of Johann Shah's with drama, Marimera, pretty much period, literary period pieces that function in the archive. So around that, so basically what I said was, in the room, how do commissioners and funders act with a story like from folklore, especially because we're a period, shouldn't be a period, or maybe they're looking compulsory forward. So I'm just wondering what was their experience with that.
I don't know which is more expensive, animation or period live action. So you're kind of
No, it's easy enough for me. You don't have to do anything. Like, a genital drama, when you're doing a drama, it is incredible how much work you have to do. John does this all in his head, which is, we don't have to do it, which is incredible. That's a huge battle scene. Imagine having to recreate, actually do a battle scene for television or drama, and how
the extras are the horses, everything, all the costumes.
So, from the perspective of the commission and editor, I think what they're looking at, there's an instinctive take. There's the story, but if the script had a notice, they said straight away, well, let's go with news from my girl. It's not good enough. So either go back to the drawing board or move on to the other project. So that, the minute you come in and say, it's Derek Scully, well-known publisher and author, all sorts of skill sets. John Plus came along with it, and John gave it back. We would come in and say that, and said, and then I have an Irish language producer, fair enough experience there. I'm going to be, I'm going to be balancing the books and managing that process as well. Not so much at the creative side. In some bits in my documentaries, you would be heavily involved in the creative side. Normally it's the producer who comes up with the ideas and the concepts, and our model of it. So this is very, very different. Commission editor would say, can you do this? Are you the right people? Is that the right writer? Is that the right concept? Do those things work? Open up for us. If our Bible had been put together, they would have said, we put this together, we focused on put together. They would have spotted that. I'm not sure, but they're highly experienced and they're highly supportive of their projects, and that's where you want to be. You want to set the bar as high as you can.
And I think it's been shown that there's an appetite for the stories here and internationally as well. Just internationally. I think we've got time for one more question.
This question for John. What was like the main kind of cultural inspiration you did? If there was any border crackers where you're designing them and creating them?
That's a good question. I don't know, I just go through the process. I always try, every time, because animation is so demand for each kind of project, I really try to do something different. That's why I want to resonate with people So I had to take into account parts kind of beyond things, so that formed where I was going with the characters. Again, you're just doing lots of iterations of characters and just trying to find what works, what's going to work with the script. The good thing is you've got a script and it's solid, and that's not kind of moving. So you really kind of try to service that script and make sure the characters work for scenes every year. That makes sense.
Okay, thanks very much, everyone. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, hiya. I'm a YouTuber.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and I'm a Instagrammer. It was very interesting, your chat. I suppose I just had a question. How long did it take you to make the animation
For this project?
for that project? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just asking them the questions, but John or Jeglin will be able to answer you that, but I know they've been working on it for a couple of years,
yeah.
in its entirety, and they've still got another, I would say, year to go before it'll be aired, but
Another year.
yeah.
I mean, for her, it's very interesting. It's about what's
time consuming, like.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's it about?
What's that?
What was it about? Just the animations and
sorry,
stuff?
I thought you just come in. It was the Time Pilnia, which is a mythological story from the old tradition.
Mythological story.
Yeah, sort of, and that's what we were talking about, taking a story that's millennia old and how to retell it, for a modern audience in animation. So.
Oh, for like Irish history and stuff like that, was it?
No, for entertainment.
For entertainment.
For the story.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because I was trying to piece what it was
Yes,
together, sort of thing.
No,
Yeah.
It's an adult animation that will be going to the festivals and.
Right. So it's about that. Sorry, it's about what's it about then? Sorry. It's just animation.
What are you asking me?
What
the whole session was
the
about?
whole session was about, yeah.
Okay, so that's what it was about. It was about Irish mythology and film animation.
A film animation.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thanks very much.
Okay,
What's your name?
Myra.
Myra. My name's Paul, but I'm CeltixBrother on YouTube and Instagram.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Celtics like CELTIX.
Yeah.
Like
Nice to meet you.
CeltixBrother. I'm actually live right now on my YouTube.
Oh, for goodness.
Yeah, sorry. Probably should have said that out for you. Yeah. No, you're okay. Yeah. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Very spoken out of verse. Hey, oh, hiya. All good. My name's CeltixBrother.
Hello, how you doing?
On YouTube and Instagram. So I was just sorry. What's your name?
I'm Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. It's nice to meet. It's nice to meet you.
Yes, okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, didn't want to interrupt. But I was just wondering, you know, the animation that was up on the screen. How long did that take to make?
So the promo, that's only a little section of, it's going to be a 26 minutes long, it's going to be a 26 minutes long animation. And that's me just extracting little bits of the story to try and top and tail it, to give a sense of what John's style is. And
John.
put in a little bit of sound and a little bit of music over the top of it. Just a sense of where we're heading with the animation. We're about halfway through the process, I'd say, at this stage, for animators. So it's quite a small scale project from that point of view.
Yeah.
John, the senior animator, sitting down over there. He's drawing everything by hand. And that's
Yeah,
just very,
that was very great, by the way. Great animation. Yeah,
yeah, he's a genius.
yeah.
He's very talented. Even like something like horses running
And the head chopping.
and the head chopping.
Seen that motion?
And a
Yeah,
bull sort
yeah.
of charging.
Yeah, everyone's all in. All it's very accurate. Very hand drawn. There you go, guys. Hand drawn. Yeah.
And are you involved in animation yourself?
I'm a YouTuber, so I basically edit. I do vlogs around the city, and I do a bit of editing for some of my posts on Instagram. That's my name there. Kel-
Okay. I
yeah.
know who you are.
Do you have Instagram?
I have a company one, but I'll take a picture of that.
Oh, thank you. You'll be able to see my video that I did as well.
So you're flat out then? You never stop? Yeah, every day, are you?
Yeah.
Full time?
You know, funny enough, I do it as a hobby, but I'm hopefully looking to go into the film industry or something to maybe get hired in somewhere. Yeah.
Well, that's a good route into it now, is doing your own stuff. And you understand framing and timing and asking good questions and how to edit stuff down.
Oh yeah, I'm very good at the interviews. Yeah. So what was your name again? Sorry.
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you. Oh yes.
He's
Yeah.
an old vlogger as well.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'll just. Yeah.